It's Luke chapter 18, and I'll be commencing the reading at verse 31. I'll actually be reading across into chapter 19, the first 10 verses as well. In the weekly Bible class, we're going through the Gospel of Luke, and we stopped at verse 34 on Wednesday, but there's some different thoughts that I'd like to bring to you this morning. So those of you in the Bible class, don't worry, it's not a repeat of what we had Wednesday, and it's not a glimpse of what you're going to have next week either. But it's just some nice thoughts that the Lord has placed on my heart, and I trust they'll bless you too. So Luke 18, verses 31, reading through to 19, verse 10. Then Jesus took the 12 aside and said to them, "Behold, we are going up to Jerusalem, and all things that are written by the prophets concerning the Son of Man will be accomplished. For he will be delivered to the Gentiles, and will be mocked and insulted and spit upon. They will scourge him and kill him, and the third day he will rise again." Not much room for doubt there, is there? But they understood none of these things. This saying was hidden from them. They did not know the things which were spoken. Then it happened, as he was coming near Jericho, that a certain blind man sat by the road begging. And hearing a multitude passing by, he asked what it meant. So they told him that Jesus of Nazareth was passing by. And he cried out, saying, "Jesus, Son of David, have mercy on me." Then those who went before warned him that he should be quiet. But he cried out all the more, "Son of David, have mercy on me." So Jesus stood still and commanded him to be brought to him. When he had come near, Jesus asked him, saying, "What do you want me to do for you?" He said, "Lord, that I may receive my sight." And Jesus said to him, "Receive your sight. Your faith has made you well." And immediately he received his sight and followed him, glorifying God. And all the people, when they saw it, gave praise to God. Then Jesus entered and passed through Jericho. Now behold, there was a man named Zacchaeus, who was a chief tax collector, and he was rich. And he sought to see who Jesus was, but could not because of the crowd, for he was of short stature. So he ran ahead and climbed up into a sycamore tree to see him, for he was going to pass that way. And when Jesus came to the place, he looked up and saw him and said to him, "Zacchaeus, make haste and come down, for today I must stay at your house." So he made haste and came down and received him joyfully. But when they saw it, they all complained, saying, "He has gone to be a guest with a man who is a sinner." Then Zacchaeus stood and said to the Lord, "Look, Lord, I give half of my goods to the poor, and if I have taken anything from anyone by false accusation, I restore fourfold." Jesus said to him, "Today salvation has come to this house, because he also is a son of Abraham. For the Son of Man has come to seek and to save that which was lost." Work against us. If you're reading so many chapters a day, you might come to the end of 18, stop, and then the next day pick up 19. But actually, that break is artificial. It's the same journey. It's the same account. No doubt, as you're aware, Martin has been looking at the Beatitudes. And I think he's come across one of the commentators that gave that a wonderful title, Heavenly Attitudes, which I do think is lovely. Talking about attitudes and how important attitudes and behaviours are. And as we all know, that was at the very outset of Jesus' ministry. What I was challenged with when I was looking over these verses ready for our Bible class is the fact that We're talking now about the last week before Jesus died. So we're talking about the very end of his ministry. But for me, he is still displaying attitudes and behaviours that are so in line with everything that he taught on the Mount. And I just wanted to take some time to have a little look at some of those attitudes that we see displayed as an example of our Lord at this time. But never lose sight of the fact that it's at the end of his own life. Never lose sight of that. Because the strain that he must have been going through in those final few weeks, that's why I started the reading at verse 31. We need to understand that Jesus knew what going to Jerusalem meant. He knew what that meant. As soon as he headed towards Jerusalem, he was putting into motion the chain of events that would lead to the cross. And that is why he sat down with the disciples at the very beginning and said, look, we are going up to Jerusalem. But don't think that this is a trap, and don't think that this is something that I'm blindly falling into. We're going, and this is what's going to happen. And he spells it out to them, doesn't he? Jesus will be delivered to the Gentiles. He understood that he would be judged by the Romans. He understood that. He knew that he was about to be mocked, insulted, and spat upon. Hands up, who wants that tomorrow? Who wants to do that? Who deliberately wants to go down a road tomorrow that's going to lead to all that? None of us. But Jesus did. Verse 33, they will scourge him. He knew that he would be whipped, and then he knew that they would kill him. And by saying that he was going to be handed over to the Gentiles, he knew how the Gentiles killed him. He knew what that meant. But I thank God that he looked beyond the cross. Because verse 33 doesn't end there. Verse 33 reminds us, on the third day, he will rise again. But don't let that take away the impact of what Jesus was about to go through. And the fact that he knew the Father would raise him again doesn't take away any of the pain and the suffering and the torment and the burden of our sin that Jesus went through. And all those things are at the forefront of his mind as he's heading towards Jerusalem. And I'm sure as we gather around the table this morning, we're grateful people that he ever did make that decision. But what really challenged me wasn't so much that thought, although it's important inside of Jericho. We know that Jericho was a cursed city. If you remember Jericho and his army, and God has said it should never be built again, and if it was, it would be cursed. And it's interesting that there were people in Jericho who Jesus still wanted to reach. And yet Jesus fulfills the law. He doesn't replace the law, he fulfills it. And as he's coming towards Jericho, he comes across this blind man. This blind man who is a strange paradox, because although blind, he sees more than most. And what do I mean by that? Well, he's physically blind. The Bible quite clearly tells us that. But when he asked who was passing by, the answer he got in verse 37 was Jesus of Nazareth is coming by. When he cries out, does he cry out to Jesus of Nazareth? No, he doesn't. And actually, it explains to us why the crowd got so angry with him. Because actually what he cries out is, Son of David, have mercy on me. And that title, Son of David, is very, very rarely used in the whole of Scripture. And it's only used 2 or 3 times in all of the Gospels. By calling him Son of David, he was acknowledging him as Messiah. He understood who Jesus was. Which is why I say that he might be physically blind, but spiritually, he had had a revelation that even Jesus' disciples on times struggled with. Son of David, have mercy on me. And they told him to be quiet. You see, the rest of the crowd didn't acknowledge him yet in that role as Messiah. But he cries out all the more, Son of David, have mercy on me. But I just love verse 40, where it just simply says, so Jesus stood still. Where is Jesus going? He's going to Jerusalem. Why is he going? He's going there to surrender his life as a sacrifice for the sin of the world. And on his way, he stops. On his way, he still has time to hear the call of the individual who needs help. And this is what really started to challenge me and speak to me. And it was the instance that challenged my own heart was in some sense insignificant, but I don't believe anything is ever insignificant, and I believe the Lord speaks to us for very important reasons. As is sometimes our want, our weeks can get quite busy, can't they, with the things that we're doing. And very often that busyness is around service and church activities as well. And I was driving in my car, and I drove past an elderly couple struggling with their shopping. And as I drove past, I just simply prayed, Lord, will you bless them? I hope you do pray for strangers as you see them. I hope that your hearts and your prayers are not just confined to your family and friends. But there have been occasions where I've stopped the car and helped people with shopping. There's been occasions where I've been walking home and I've helped people with their shopping. But on this occasion, I found I was too busy. I was heading somewhere, I had things to do. I wasn't far down the road, and the Lord actually turned that prayer back on me. And he said, why are you asking me to bless them when you haven't? It was within my gift to do something about that situation. I could have stopped the car, and I could have asked, do you want to lift home? You see, sometimes our prayers are to ease our conscience and to cover our lack of willingness to help. And God does want to bless that couple. But why are we so unwilling sometimes to be the vessel that he uses? Why is it sometimes we're asking him to bless through somebody else? And he's saying, what are you going to do about it? And that's what I see here in Jesus' attitudes, his heavenly attitudes. He is on the way to the cross, and yet he still has time to meet the need of that individual. And the challenge for us is that, yes, we're on our journey with God. We are finding our way through our life and our service to him. But on that journey and on that walk, we meet people all the time. And we need to find time for people. And God forbid that we're so busy in our activities of what we're doing allegedly for him, that his heart for people can't work through us. And that's a very simple message, but an important challenge for us. And as Jesus goes through Jericho, he's passing out to Jericho then, and chapter 19 picks up what happens on his way out to the city. And on his way out to the city, there's a man who wants to see him. And this man's got a serious problem. He's not that tall. And his other problem is, he's not very well liked. Because he's a chief tax collector. He's not even a tax collector. He's in charge of other tax collectors. He's a collaborator at all collaborators. He's working with the Romans and he's made a lot of money from it. So when he's trying to push through the crowd, nobody is saying, oh, you step in front of me, Zacchaeus, I'll give room for you. He's meeting elbows and shoulders. And so he climbs a tree. You see, he wants to see Jesus. But what he doesn't realise yet is that Jesus wants to see him. He maybe has a sense of curiosity, I don't know. It doesn't really tell us, it just simply says that he wanted to see Jesus. So he climbs up this tree, and what a lovely picture that is of him being willing to look a bit foolish in order to meet with God. And sometimes our pride is challenged. How desperate are we to meet God and to serve God, and how concerned are we about our ego and our standing in society and other people's opinions of us? So he climbs up the tree, thinking that he's achieved all that the day's going to bring. He's going to see a glimpse of Jesus as Jesus walks by. And how astonished he is when Jesus stops under the tree and looks straight at him and calls him by name. And how shocked we are when we first realise that this great God that we come across at the start of our journey knows us by name. We think we're finding him for the first time, and we find out he knows everything about us already. And Jesus stops under the tree and just simply says, Zacchaeus, make haste, come down, for today I must stay at your house. See how, again, he's so adamant, isn't he, that he wants to spend time with this man. But then you have this strange verse in verse 7. When they saw it. Were they? When they saw it, They all complained, saying, he has gone to be a guest with a man who is a sinner. They are those people who believed that they were above Zacchaeus. They are those people who looked down upon him because of who he was and what he did. Jesus didn't care about what they thought. Jesus cared about meeting Zacchaeus. We've got to be so careful with pride, haven't we? Yes, you can always find somebody worse off than you, but does it make you any better than them? Of course it doesn't. What happens when Zacchaeus meets God? When the blind man met him, he was released of his failing sight. The lovely thing is that Jesus knew he was blind. Jesus knew what he needed. And yet Jesus made a point of asking him, what do you want me to do? Because he wanted the man's faith to be evident to all. And by the man calling him Messiah, and then asking him to give him his sight, he was showing to everybody round and about what was in his heart, that he believed who Jesus was, and he believed what Jesus could do for him. You see, God doesn't just do things to us. He draws things out of us. He's working with us. And Zacchaeus comes down and Jesus says, I'm coming to your house for a meal. And yet after spending some time with Jesus, look at what he has been released from. Why would he take a job that means he's hated by everybody? Well, simply because he loves money more than people's opinions. But what happens after he spent time with Jesus? Well, he's given half of what he's already got away. And anybody that he's cheated, he's restoring fourfold. What has Zacchaeus been released from? He's been released from the hold of money and materialism. We all need to be released from something. All of us can be enchained by so many different things. And yet the wonderful thing is, there is somebody who can release us from everything. And it's the Lord himself. And the lovely thing is that as he's running this whole universe, he hears your cry. He sees your need. He knows your name. And this isn't a one-off of what God was like when he walked this earth. This is the heart of God being displayed to us for all of eternity. And why did Jesus have so much trouble with the established religion of the day? It's because the heart of God was bigger than their rules and their laws and their written commands. God loves bigger than that. May we be challenged this morning. Yes, grateful that he did go to the cross. But let's be challenged by the attitudes that he showed. Let's be challenged by the time that he had for individuals, even in the midst of the most challenging of times. And may we allow God to show us the individuals around us who need help. I've said it many times, and I make no apologies for it, and you've heard it from me many times more. Tom Fagler challenged us as a church when we were in Ealing many, many years ago. And he simply said this: invest your time in the lives of others. It's a very simple statement, but it's a real challenge every day. What do we invest our time in? Are we invested in ourselves, or are we invested in other people? Jesus invested his time in a blind man. Jesus invested his time in a hated tax collector. Jesus invests his time in me and in you. He loves us and he cares for us. And those are the very simple, practical examples of how he allowed the attitude and the love of God to be displayed in his life. And may we seek opportunity to show God in our lives, in our attitudes, in our behaviour, and how we spend our time. In Jesus' name.